Demonstrations. Before we do anything, let's take a look at the databases in the Object Explorer. There's nothing than the system databases and database snapshots. Then I want to create the database Demo2 and execute it. You can see when I refresh the databases, it just be created here. So if I drop it and refresh the databases one more time, there's nothing show up. Recreate it because I need to use it. Use the Demo2 and you can see the drop-down box change from the master to Demo2 and create table person. There are 4 columns should be created. The first one is the ID, that is integer, and I set it to be the primary key. Last name and first name. For the last name, I don't want it to be known, so now known. First and the last name should be varchar with length 255. The age has the check constraint with the age larger or equals to 80. So let's take a look at the Object Explorer. Look at the tables. And the DBO.persons has been created. And look at the design. There are 4 columns with the ID serves as the primary key. And because we just set the first and the second rows, the columns to be no nonce, so the third and fourth, it allows nonce. After we created it, let's take a look at the first 1000 rows. There's nothing, so the table is empty. Then let's try to insert something into the database, into the table. When I don't specify which column I want to insert it, that means all the columns I want to insert information in. So after insert the first row, let's take a look at here. The first row has been shown up in the database. So let's do it for the second row. And then execute it, the second row should be inserted into it. So if I change the third row with ID equals to 2, it's gonna raise an error message. Violation of primary key constraint. So cannot insert duplicate in the object. DBO.persons, the duplicate value is 2. So reading the error message is very important. It's gonna tell you exactly what happened over here. So if I change it back to 3 and try to execute it and select top 1000 row, we can see the third row has been inserted. And for the fourth row, execute it, there's another error message with it. Insert statement conflicts with the check constraint. The check constraint is with age. So if the age is larger or equals with 18, then this row should be inserted back into the database. See. Okay, and here I want to use the delete from persons where first name equals to Cheng. So zeros are affected because all the information I inserted with the last name equals to Cheng, not the first name. Or I want to delete from the person where ID equals to 1, the 1 row affected because there's only 1 row with the ID equals to 1. The primary key shouldn't be duplicated. Or delete from persons where first name equals to Charlene and the last name equals to 27. And to affected. If you execute it, you can see just the fourth row with age equals to 18 is still here. And I can update the person's exact age, increase it by 1 with the first name equals to Charlene row. So let's take a look at here. Look at here, the age. It is increased from the 18 to 19. I can truncate the table persons. The truncate means the table should be still there, however, it's gonna be empty. Truncate means you delete all the rows from that table. If I want to drop the table gonna just be removed from the Object Explorer. So let me create the table back because I need to use it. And insert the rows, and every time you want to check whether your comments is doing what you want it to do. Okay, store procedure. Firstly, we want to create a store procedure named select person, select star from person. And after you execute it, it's going to be created. And we can check over here, look at the store procedure, that is the DO select persons, which you just created. And to execute that store procedure, what you want to do is just execute and followed by the name of the store procedure, because we don't need a parameter here, so we don't need to identify the parameters. So select everything from that person. Create a store procedure. Another one, select persons, parameter 1. This is the parameter. The parameter's name is name, and the data type followed by the parameter. So define the SQL statement as select everything from the persons where first name equals to name. Select everything and execute it. And then you can refresh it, and the second store procedure just to show up here. And we can run the store procedure by parsing the name back to the store procedure. So that means for all the information from the persons where first name equals to Charlene gonna be selected out. And I can also drop the store procedure. If I drop the store procedure is gonna be removed from the Object Explorer. And another example for the store procedure, I use a new parameter, and the data type is int. Then parse the parameter with value 27, and everything from the person whose age equals to 27 gonna be selected out. And again, it's gonna show up here. If I drop it, the store procedure gonna just disappear. Okay, when you define the store procedure, you can have actually more than one parameters, and the store procedure is help you to just